The next presentation under research is on digital integration in retail and the evolving omni-channel scenario. This presentation is going to be about trend-setting ideas in building your retail business, digital ready, and leverage the 360 degrees retail capabilities offered by omni-channel. And to do the same, I'd like to invite Mr. Siddharth Jain, Principal, A.T. Kearney.
Siddharth Jain, a principal with A.T. Kearney. Privileged to be here and share our experiences. Firstly, I would like to thank Rashmi for a beautiful presentation. Sets it up very well, a great transition for me because some of the points touched in that presentation resonate very well with some of our point of views, and you'll see those in my presentation. A quick introduction, I'm a part of the retail and consumer practice of A.T. Kearney. Spent close to 9 years in consulting now. A large part of my work working with large retailers in India, large brands, and also e-commerce players in the last couple of years. A lot of the experience that I'd like to share today is from those experiences, but also a large part of it is from our global experience. We have a very thriving retail practice globally, and some of the learnings and insights from working with the global retailers who have led the omni-channel play so far. What are some of the learnings from those for the Indian retailers? What I'm going to cover today are three broad areas. Firstly, from an Indian context, setting the context of why this is important, and what do we mean by digital in retail. For us, it's not just about e-commerce or digital as a channel, but much more than that. So what do we mean by digital in retail, and why is it important in India? Secondly, what's happening in this space globally, and some learnings and case studies from some of the global majors. And then coming to India in terms of what it means for the Indian retailers. I'd try my best to stick to the 20 minutes. Hopefully, I should be able to. So when we say digital in retail, and when the topic was given to us, of course, digital as a channel, whether it's a pure play e-commerce channel or an omni-channel play, is the first thing that comes to mind to everyone. And it is, of course, the primary role of digital today as a sales channel and for enhancing revenue and maximizing revenue. But there are three other things that, to us, digital is allowing retailers to do through that channel. First is the digital customer experience. I think the engagement with the consumer and the loyalty that you can gain with the consumer towards your brand can be manifold higher with the digital interactions. And hence, the whole customer experience and lifecycle management using digital tools is one more very important aspect of digital in retail. Digital media as a channel for marketing and reaching out to the consumers through the entire journey is something which has evolved by leaps and bounds in the last 4 to 5 years. And in many industries is now becoming the leading channel for marketing. So digital media is another way of looking at digital in retail, and how do we leverage that better. And finally, what we call the digital store, which is effectively around web analytics, customer engagement, and managing data on store and through the various touch points and interactions that you have on the digital channel. So all these four put together is what we think is the digital opportunity for retailers globally and in India. Today, I'm going to spend a large part of my time on the omni-channel play and some of the things that are happening there, also a little bit on the digital media, but just wanted to set context that the other things are equally important as well. This is obvious. I think everyone in the room knows it's a given that we are a digital powerhouse today as a country, already the second largest internet consumer base in the world. Phenomenal. I think no one in this room would have guessed what has happened in the last 5 years in terms of smartphone penetration and adoption of internet. And we have all gone wrong in our projections whenever we have done it in past. So, and I'm sure we'll go wrong in the future projection as well. In short, this is here to stay. Indian consumers are more internet savvy and digital savvy than their global counterparts, and phone is essentially driving it. If you also look at who is adopting it, of the various parameters, what stands out as the clear driver or sort of differentiator between consumer is just age. It's clearly been driven by young consumers. We did a proprietary survey on adoption of digital as a channel for sales, and what came out was similar to what Rashmi was saying, that Indian consumers are like adopting online channel for sales very, very rapidly. Young consumers especially so. Nearly 80% of the shoppers that we surveyed, of course, there is a bias in the research sample that you would look at, but this is focused on urban consumers who have a likelihood of doing that. Of those, 80% are buying at least, are buying online, and 50 to 50% buying at least monthly. The older consumers, the 35 to 40 years bracket, is also rapidly catching up, while they shop much lesser than the younger consumers, but they are also quickly adopting internet as a channel because of the smartphone penetration. This is contrasting to global consumers and much higher preference for online channel has been seen with the young Indian consumers. What they expect, though, is not just a great website or a great app where they could buy online, right? So the survey shows that there were 5 clear expectations, especially that the young Indian consumer has in terms of what they want from the whole digital experience. Number 1, they want to be continuously connected. What this means is that the access to information, people, and products needs to be anytime and not restricted to a time zone. Number 2, they really, really prefer personalized experience. They prefer two-way, tailored communication and interactions, and want to feel unique about their consumer experience and the feedback from the retailer. Third thing is seamless interfaces. This is where the whole omni-channel play comes in. They want to research, shop, and transact seamlessly across channels, and it's coming out as a clear preference of the consumer. Not met even 5% today by retailers in India, even globally, still at early stages, but these are expectations of the consumer on what they would want going forward. Peer engaged, they desire a sense of community and opinion from peers, and that's where social media comes in. This is clearly higher in some of the emerging markets as a trend, and especially India, and they want to be peer engaged and share feedback and information. And they want much more information about the products that they're buying, about the service that they're buying, than they're getting right now. So the hunger for information to the extent of where the product is made, how the product is made, what's the background, et cetera, is much higher. All 5 of these make it an imperative for retailers in India to look at digital not just as an e-commerce channel, but to provide a seamless experience and all these that the consumer is expecting through a omni-channel strategy. Moving on to what's happening globally. What we have seen is some of the leading retailers have put extensive effort in engaging consumer through the purchase journey and providing a seamless experience. Just an example of how a typical consumer is buying a digital camera, starting from the discovery stage, where they would go to Facebook and ask their friends on what's the best camera to buy, what specifications. They would go to stores in their usual mall visit and check out what are the products available, speak to the staff there. They will ask their friends, of course, in their peer group and journey, and they will check prices on their phone. These are very typical initial stage interactions that a typical consumer will go through much before they would actually buy the digital camera that they're looking to. Stage 2 is the research stage, where they would actually go to specific websites. Just an example here of Amazon.com, could be Flipkart, could be Snapdeal, but they will go to websites, check and see what's the exact availability, price, time to delivery, etc., before they actually go and buy. They might go to a store and buy that product. After doing all this, they might buy it on the website that they chose to as the third stage. It doesn't end there. The journey has a fulfillment and a service stage. again, a variety of experiences and expectations on how the fulfillment should happen. Some of them will want home delivery. Some of them will want to go to a store after ordering online and picking it up. And even on the payment side, some would want to pay through their phone after getting it. Some would want cash on delivery. And also things like financing plan and EMIs, which are extremely common in India. And finally, they would also expect the journey to continue through the service stage, through going back and forth through channels, where some of the new channels, like the other channels, like the call center or telephone interaction or web interaction will come in. And net, what we see is one product purchase is going to go back and forth from physical to mobile to internet to call centers. And it won't necessarily stick to the one retailer. They will go back and forth across retailers, and they might start with retailer A here and end buying at a retailer B. So the key imperative for all retailers is, how do I stick and retain this consumer through this journey right from the day they start discovering it? And that is what the omni-channel strategy is all about. So what are some of the key things that the global retailers are doing? We have summarized it in 4 buckets. Number 1, simply put, sounds very simple, but it's not the case with most retailers, is a single view of the consumer. Can you trace and locate a consumer in the same form with the same name and identity across different channels? Today, answer is no for most retailers. Even players who have very strong loyalty programs are unable to link consumers with their loyalty numbers on their online platforms, while they might be using those cards when they buy and come and buy at the store. So single view of the consumer is a starting point. Leading examples, Nordstrom and Burberry, they have a very, very aggregated and holistic view of consumer across social media, their own website, third-party platforms like Amazon, the mobile apps, and when they actually come to the store. Second one is flexibility in the whole buying and delivery experience. Very common, buying online and picking up in store. Personalized in-store pickup is a key trend here, led by folks like Best Buy and Walmart. Very, very increasingly popular in US. It is a question whether it will be equally valuable in India or not. Initial sense is that not as overwhelmingly as the Western market, but there will be a consumer segment which will definitely value this and want to do this. The keyword being flexibility. The third is mobile applications, and how do you use mobile applications? A great example of leveraging barcodes for scanning the product that you want to buy, and actually going to a physical store and locating that product through the scanned picture. Very well adopted by Macy's and Target, again in US, and successfully done. Could be adopted in India. And the fourth thing that retailers are doing are in what we call integrated online. Again, sounds simple, but a very difficult thing to execute in terms of how do I coordinate pricing and promotions on my website and my store and my app and third-party websites to make sure that my consumer is getting the same experience. Another key thing where Macy's and in the furniture side, IKEA has made very, very good progress. Some very interesting examples of some path-breaking stuff that has happened in the last 3 to 4 years in terms of the omni-channel experience. I'll talk about one, which is Tesco in South Korea. Around 3 years back, they created a massive stir in the market by coming out with the first QR code wall in the store. Tesco, this is in South Korean market, although Tesco is a UK retailer. What they called it was Home Plus, and what it could allow you to do is determine how it could, it helped them increase grocery sales to time-starved Korean consumers. Key being time-starved, I think something which we can attribute to Indian consumers as well. What they did was they brought the store to the consumers at a point in the day when they had time in their hands. The concept was very simple. Time-starved consumer, how do I bring the whole store at their hand at a time when it's easy to them? What they did was created this QR wall, which was accessible 24/7 for a consumer, depending on time availability. The entire product catalog was available. They could come, scan the QR code, place an order, and get that product delivered that evening or within 12 hours of that day. It led to significant uplift in sales for Tesco in Korea in a very, very short span. According to them, more than 10,000 consumers took advantage of this in the first 3 months without massive advertising. And eventually, online sales increased by 130% in the first year for Tesco. The trick here, although, is to identify each segment's unique parts, and it will vary category by category. Something that works with apparel will not work for jewelry or electronics. And you need to create category by category unique parts and a tailored solution rather than a one-size-fits-all. This worked very well for grocery, for example. Another quick example, Apple, when they revamped their physical stores in US around 3 years back, it replaced all the information cards from the stores completely with iPads, which provided a much more easy to access and detailed view of the product to the consumer walking into the store and a much better experience. Some of the other examples of Ralph Lauren and Macy's covered here, but some really, really interesting and cutting-edge stuff happening, which is beyond selling online, but providing a holistic experience to the consumers when they walk into the stores. The stores are definitely not dying. They are adding much more strength and a greater dimension to the companies who are able to successfully execute it. But is it working? Well, we profiled 3 players who, according to us, have done the best in the Western markets on omnichannel: Walgreens, Peapod, and Macy's. All 3 of them have shown a stark divergence in performance to the overall market and how the retail industry is progressing. Just to give you some flavor, Walgreens, again, extensively adopted an omnichannel strategy 3 to 4 years, started the journey 3 to 4 years back. What they've seen is, for a consumer who buys stores only versus a consumer who buys stores as well as online, and a consumer who buys stores plus online plus mobile, they profile them and assessed their buying behavior, and the relative revenue per consumer was a stark success for a consumer who was actually using all the 3 applications in their journey. So clearly showing that an omni-channel experience was leading to a massive uplift from those consumers. Similarly, Peapod, if you look at the average basket size of a consumer buying mobile only or store only versus buying through 2 channels, much higher, or not much higher, but in that context, in a US market, a $3 basket size increase is quite significant. Macy's, when they launched, and I'll talk about Macy's in slight detail because it's a great learning experience for Indian retailers. When they launched their omni-channel strategy in 2011 as a focused effort from the CEO side, in the first 2 quarters, the same store performance of stores which had web purchases integrated in the store versus stores which did not have, had a 429% higher like-to-like growth over the previous quarter. It was remarkable that in such a short time span, the pilot stores clearly displayed a great merit in providing a omni-channel experience. What Macy's did, just quick snapshot for those of you who don't know, of course, Macy's is one of the largest retailers in the US with nearly $28 billion of sales and has a wide range of merchandise and apparel. What they did in 2010-11 was launched an omni-channel initiative. The impact was, in 1 year, $4.1 billion of sales from the online channel, nearly 10%. Post-2013, they stopped reporting online sales because they realized that the boundary between online sales and offline sales has completely become hazy. And it is very difficult to attribute sales to a channel because the consumer is going through the multiple journeys. The end objective of this was to develop deep relationships with the customer. So it was more about relationship and loyalty rather than actual online sales. And they were very successful. What they did was 7, 8 things which were unique then. So quickly, a few unique things that Macy's tried. First was iShop, which is creating each store's own profile page, which has details about merchandise available in that store, directions, turn-by-turn Google directions for a consumer wanting to go to that store, and a click-to-dial phone link. This was just to engage consumers who are wanting to come to a particular store. The second one was Shopkick, which was a location-based application which had, again, a store-by-store specific information and offers and information available for walk-in customers in that particular store. TrueFit, a great initiative by Macy's, one of the first to try that, which was around a personalized catalog for each consumer based on body type and customer interests. Inventory management is obvious. They had a global inventory pool and integrated and shareable across channels. They displayed or installed customer response units in each of their stores, which were replacing the usual signature pads, allowed the customer to even make payments in the store on that CRU. They allowed digital receipts instead of the physical receipts for consumers who want it and send it. It also helped them in actually getting email information and other information about the consumer and connecting to them. And finally, a great concept of beauty spot, where they created custom designed kiosks under one roof, which displays their entire catalog beyond what is available in the store. So, this helped Macy's in the performance that you saw. Just select ideas, a lot more behind success of this. But this was not just about technology and making these happen, but a lot of enablers around the strategy, org structure, and processes made this happen. And we quickly, last year, surveyed some of the Indian retailers and companies from other industries to check their digital readiness and are they gearing up for adoption of such initiatives. What came out in that survey was that overall, most companies have separate functions or divisions now which are focusing on digital as a channel, but the level of integration across functions is missing. There are certain companies and industries, especially QSR and FMCG, who have dedicated team within each relevant function rather than an integrated digital channel. So while the starting step has been taken by creating a team at least which is looking at digital and including in the retail industry, two key gaps that we see. Firstly, it is still not a CXO level agenda in most companies, including retail. It is seen as a technology thing which is looked after by the technology division or each functions, but it's still not the primary focus of a CEO of the company, which is contrasting to a Macy's where it was completely led as an initiative by the Macy's CEO. The other thing is that disintegrated participation of different functions. Most of them say themselves, and this is their companies responding themselves on how they perceive their digital function. They are operating in silos. They are operating in silos. Quickly, last couple of slides. What we think Indian companies need to focus on is not just look at it as a channel, but look at it as a platform for where the consumer will come and search your product, where you can advertise it, and also how do you really leverage some of the emerging channels like social media and email, which are actually displacing the traditional display ads very rapidly in today's world. Some examples already on search side, for example, some of the global leading e-commerce players like Amazon and Flipkart are already extensively deploying SEO techniques to improve their page rank and enhance the click rates. On display ads, of course, Google is the leader there, where they're using dynamic display ads to engage potential customers much more cohesively. These are some of the things that we think the Indian retailers need to look at. Similarly, on the mobile space, which is a very, very fast growing segment, you need to think about how to target and engage the consumers through mobile-based apps and even things like games being done by people like Unilever in the early stages of this. Net, to sort of summarize this, it's a clear opportunity. Consumers in India are much more attuned to this, and expectations are high. Globally, there are clear examples of people having a better performance when they've adopted an omni-channel strategy compared to some of the other retailers or not. But it is not just about technology. It is about looking at it holistically, making it a CEO agenda, involving all functions together and tracing the consumer from the search stage to the service stage through all the channels integrated together. So these are some of our point of views on this. We're of course short on time, as has been communicated to me, but we'll be happy to share some more perspectives at length later in the day and post that. I haven't shared my email here, but I can easily get that sent across. And thank you for your time.